We appreciate that.
Maybe you have some questions of me, or would you like to feedback?
I guess I can start. I guess I'll go ahead and throw a hardball. Recently, in the past couple of years, mental health became a significant issue, especially after the Virginia Tech shooting. And so it came down from the Chancellor saying that UW colleges need to provide adequate mental health services. Of course, with that was a mandate that would then be cited to segregated fees. Personally, this student association for UW Fox Valley had a difficult, I guess, battle to try to, get some kind of semblance of control into it. So I guess my question is how are you going to help in your position? How are you going to help make sure that any kind of segregated fee increases that might come from central down will be done fairly and will be done in a very open and transparent environment, as opposed to just a snap of the finger?
Well, first thing I'm going to do is increase it. No. Did you see that? Like, oh, right. I think you have to help me in that process. And I think if you ever feel that there's a fee that has been extended or added to your cost, and you weren't involved or engaged in that, I need to know that right away. That's certainly not that happens. Somebody probably isn't doing what they're supposed to. So I need to know that. And then the second part is we need your help to get honest representation of the student body. So let's say someone suggests a particular segregated fee for a purpose, and the student body is somewhat mixed over that fee. You don't know where it all lies. We may come to you and say, could you, let's say it's on the campus, could you hold a forum, talk about it, where you get both sides of that issue? Could you then hold a straw vote so we know what the general sense of the campus is? That we may do those things to try to find out, is there broad support for that? There may be some things where there are obvious numbers of students in favor, but there's probably others where there aren't. And we need to know that, and you are the vehicle to help us understand on your campus, your local government. Is that helpful?
Yes, very much so.
To be accurate, it wasn't a fee that was added on, it was money that we then had to take out of what we had as segregated fees and put toward mental health.
I see.
So it was reducing student funds by making them go toward mental health. Certain essays could have added on a new segregated fee.
The normal, I think it's a 3.5% increase in segregated fees. That was waived by the Chancellor, so that it could be integrated into one big group. And I think it was roughly the mental health, without taking up too much time, the mental health issue ended up being, you had to get a mental health counselor at a certain rate, depending on your student population, and that is supposed to run sick fees.
Right, and that was what
find a way to do it.
We could have raised seg fees. It found like we didn't. We just student funding for other things just went away.
Okay.
And so it was kind of every campus handles it slightly differently.
Do my best. I'll do my best to never set down fee arbitrarily. I'll do that. You and your successors have the right to call me and say, what are you doing? So hopefully I'll engage you in that process, that conversation very early. Hey, here's an idea. What do you guys think about it?
Something my vice president's not here to talk about that he feels strongly about changing on our campus is our locked door policy. In the spring of 10
years ago, where I the decision was made to lock the campus down. And the students, as I recall, I can't recall, you might want to check into this, but the students really became very active in really advocating for an open door policy during certain hours. And we're quite successful. So I think that's the other piece of this, is that I think if we can create a cooperative relationship, a consultative relationship with the global dean, you know, in this case, Paul Price, I think that's to your advantage, and I do think we can foster change, because we saw it really dramatic in Ronald. It took a few months, but it was a negotiation that took place.
Yeah.
I don't want to overstate this, and Steve was part of this too, but we were very supportive of the students and the administration to really work together to come to a common ground where they could actually not always lock every door, and I think they worked out a reasonable compromise.
I think a monthly meeting or a bi-weekly meeting between the student governmental officers and the dean, or the dean's cabinet, or whatever it's called, can really be a healthy way of letting that kind of stuff be known.
So you think it'd be best resolved in campus?
Well, yeah, you would prefer it as it was said, but I think you asked another question. What are other campuses doing? And that would be helpful information.
Yeah, I got a little bit when Steve talked about how insurance works. That helped.
You mentioned a couple times now about seeking student opinion, polling, straw votes. Let's say that was done in his case. You know, the administration still says, you know, the security requirements that we really should do this. What would you do with the whole data that we gave you?
Well, yeah, let me try to answer that. If I were on that, let's say you have a vast majority of students, what do you want this open? I would say, okay, here's why it would be difficult to do. But let's see if we can find a way to do it. Can we explore security measures like what I call passive security measures, where you have your ID card open, you're authorized to go in that room. Then we have cameras in there. There's a sign-in sheet. We have ways of getting some kind of levels, but I would look for the compromise that allow us to maintain security for our current people, but at the same time, delve into leadership.
I just follow up quickly. You mentioned cameras. This campus really does not really have like security cameras in place, particularly the parking lot where, you know, every now and then vandalism or theft does occur. You know, luckily enough, crime isn't a serious problem here on this campus, but often when we approach that kind of aspect, short of having a security guard hired, we were looking at, you know, let's get some security cameras up on the light poles, something like that. But then, you know, the kind of general response that we got was then that would, you know, then that puts a heavier burden on the campus, saying that, you know, now you have the cameras, now you have to follow through. It gives you a sense of, well, somebody's watching me, when in fact it could just be recording. And that really kind of, to me, it seemed like the campus wasn't willing to go forward and take that extra step because they feared repercussions for it.
Well, the last two institutions that I've been president of, in both cases, we installed cameras in the parking lot. It would be not only theft, there'd be theft, but there were also accidents. And it just gave you people would ding a car, they'd pull out of a parking lot. It was really handy. So we put it in all of the parking lots in New York. We had it on several. And at first students were a little upset over that because it feels a little bit like an invasion of privacy. But once you have something stolen out of your car, or well, all of a sudden you're an advocate for this because we figure out how it happened. There's another element to this. It didn't. All it did was cost us the installation, and once a month we had to make sure they're working. Because the digital system, it seems like it kept a week's worth of videos, but I can't remember digitally. And then it just started over again. So if you didn't do something within a week, we would have lost that video.
As you know, UWFV is a very systematic that allows students to really be involved in the governing process, and it's like really like the basis of shared governance in the UW system, at least for students. And unlike other like the comprehensive universities, it's really difficult for students to be involved in the decision-making process because Central's in Madison, we don't have a campus in Madison. Do you have any ideas as far as like how we can be more like integrated to the decision-making process when?
And if I can actually jump in on that, evidently you're saying SGC is not a constitutionally structured body. Can we, I mean, I guess, can we take a look at what she's talking about, at shared governance in the colleges and at the institution level? And can students, I guess I would like to see input from us as to how we would like to see it implemented. Because, I mean, honestly, it's a little not completely implemented, to be honest, at the institution level, because it's very difficult. One, just trying to get this group of students here was a headache. And obviously students can't be there for every meeting that goes on in central office. We can't be there for every, I mean, it's difficult for us even to be on committees.
Nor would you want to.
It's tough, right, and I understand that, but I guess I would really like some pretty significant input into how we implement it going forward. If we restructure, if we rewrite into the Constitution this, and I would love to see SGC have a direct say in how that gets implemented.
Well, let me make sure I understand. You know, I want to make this but I thought students, you had representative folks on the faculty senate.
On the Senate we do.
We do have representatives in the UW Colleges Senate. Myself, Matt, as well as one more that we have to elect yet. And then we also have seats on the other committees, your inclusive excellence and so on. And that's a great start, I guess.
Well, okay, then this would help formalize that, and that's the faculty body for shared governance, the faculty senate. So if you're a part of that, I should say faculty body, that is also the staff entity as well. So students from the faculty and staff would all be a part of that. And I think you were at the May meeting, weren't you?
Absolutely.
And so was, what was her name?
Nicole Belcher.
Were you there? Oh, yeah, she was very old.
I don't know what's her name.
You look different, but maybe.
Yeah, both of us were there.
But you were
I
there.
shave my head.
And you'll attend,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yep.
And those are, that's the primary shared governance body. So I think by recognizing this organization and making sure the Constitution puts representatives from student government on that body is one step. What about on the campuses? Because I think I also heard Nicole. How are you engaged in that process?
Well, shared governance has three pillars. There's the administration, then there's the faculty, and then there's the students.
I'm going to have to ask you these.
And this is a major issue that they do not want the students in on. There's actually Regents policies 33 and 35. See, I'm the big activist that brought this issue up.
I have to stand up here, folks. I really hate to do this. If you'd have remained quiet, Geoff, I would have done that. But there is a restraining order against Geoff. He's not allowed on the campuses for an act in the past. It's nothing to do with me, and I don't want to make a big deal out of it. But I have to, Geoff.
You actually have the discretion, Chancellor. You should have returned my calls. There's no restraining order. That's not true. And what I was wondering is why you're asking these guys to take polls at the campus. They're the elected representatives of their campus. They speak for the students.
I'm going to have to leave, guys. I'm sorry.
Wow. See?
Mr. Decker, this is our time to visit with the Chancellor.
That's correct.
I think it would be respectful for you to respect our time, but then we don't get a whole lot of time. So I think...
All right, I asked my question. He had his response. At your request, I'll be quiet.
Thank you.
Can we move this meeting to a different venue?
Well, he can leave, and I'll be here about 10 minutes until the cops haul me out, and then the Chancellor gets in trouble for violating open meetings
I'm just a member of the community documenting the event.
So anyway, also the dean of this, if he's going to leave and nobody else is speaking, he'll take the floor. The dean of this campus was fired in February for insulting the students and professors, and they did the right thing there, but they still covered it up. So,
Actually, that's not true at all, Geoff. You know
still
that.
covered it up, still violated open records law, and the good Chancellor refuses to communicate, which is this mark of civility. I've called you 4 times respectfully requesting permission to be on this campus.
And there is an order that you're not allowed on campus.
I was suspended after the Stevens Point Chancellor assaulted me. That suspension does not mean I can't be on campus. That's just one of the many lines that they tell you guys. So they've left now. So sorry, you know, it's not like they were going to let you have any input anyway. They said, oh yeah, you guys need to talk to a straw poll on campus if you have some concerns about shared governance. We'll take 2 months doing that, come up with some idea that we're going to ignore anyway. There's established policies in the University of Wisconsin that guarantee students input before decisions are made, and that's not allowed. As they said, they want to put you in with the faculty senate. They don't want to give the students their own filter of voice. So, I don't want to alienate you guys, okay? I like to be quiet, like I said. If you're gentlemen down the way there, I just want to be quiet. I'll respect his wishes. It would be really a terrible thing if this meeting broke up because the Chancellor is being quiet. So, yeah. The new Stevens Point Chancellor is the guy who assaulted me.
Oh.
So, by the way, the order he's talking about, there's a policy that says that if you're suspended, you can't be on any property owned by the university. This property is owned by Winnebago County. The Winnebago County DA dismissed a frivolous charge against him. This is not going to go anywhere. Just a waste of your time. This is their tactic to isolate the guys and keep you from thinking for yourself.
You guys don't know the actual law behind it. That's the state law right there. It's all in black and white. Not a problem. Please look at it. This issue's been going on for like a decade, and they have been covering it up.
Are you a student here?
I don't believe that matters to be on campus.
It does. This property's under lease. It's not public property. You need to know if you're a student.
This is not public property.
Take a look at the statutes.
I'm gonna have to do that. If it's not public property, then I'll make my way to public property.
What's your last name? Jack. Okay. What's your name?
It's none of your business, sir.
Okay. We're gonna have to ask you to leave.
That's fine.
I'm not breaking any rules. They're going to arrest me, then you're a good chance that they get in trouble for violating open meetings.
You have no legitimate business on this campus. We're asking you to leave.
And I've said no. You can ask, and I can say no. And now you guys have just told these students that you value their input so little that you'll walk out as soon as you talk about it.
All right, stay here.
Good luck, Geoff.
Yeah.
So there's a lawful statute that requires students that are, or I should say, that requires people who are not students.
Colleges President. We have people who are disruptive to our operations on these campuses. We can ask them to leave.
Disruptive. Can I ask how my actions were individually disruptive? Because I was disruptive. Can I ask how my actions were individually disruptive? Because I was sitting here not speaking. I didn't say a word. I was here documenting the event, which to my knowledge is not causing any sort of disruption. If Mr. Decker over there decided to speak out on his own accord, he can do so, and he may or may not have been disruptive if you consider that a disruption. But I've been recording, and as you will be able to see from the footage that I have today, I caused absolutely no disruption. So if that's the charge that I'm being asked to leave for, then I would have to insist that that is absolutely a false accusation. Documenting event certainly does not constitute a disruption. That's silly.
Student association. Y'all went to that.
Okay. All right, we'll find them.
Well, there's another meeting down the hall that I was going to go visit with people and tell them what a terribly corrupt institution this is, where good people turn into goons. You guys are probably good guys. Ray Cross is probably a good guy. He's afraid of being fired by Kevin Riley, UWFV President, who's not a good guy. People shouldn't be afraid of doing the right thing.
Nicole, we've met, haven't we? Steve Wilder?
Yeah, Where did I meet you before?
Yeah, lunch hour. You're a student
Well,
here?
yeah, no, I'm a student actually at UW Students Point now, but I just act as like a special advisor to the SGC. Good luck.
I'm going to see a show before too long.
Oh, that'll be exciting.
Oh, I've got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. So you know about the issue?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just give us a few more minutes. Just wait over there. You turn your camera too. Thank you.
I'm Officer Jorgensen with the Menasha Police Department. Thank you for exercising your ability to perform in a meeting. However, at this point, the UW system has asked that you leave the premises because of the disruption that you created in the meeting. Since you didn't leave the premises at their discretion, the police were called. We have now formally asked you to leave the premises. We believe that since your presence had previously caused a situation that required the assistance of the police, that any additional presence on the property will be disturbing the peace at this location. So at this point, I'm going to ask you to leave the premises in your vehicle. Should you decide not to adhere to that advice and you choose to enter the building, my only option at that point would be to arrest you for disorderly conduct.
And then what?
Any questions?
And then what? Downtown?
Yeah.
Just a ticket?
I mean, it'll be a custodial arrest. It'll be fingerprinted photograph.
All right. Yeah, I have a question. You're the supervisor?
Yeah.
I think I'll ask my question to her.
Totally fine.
So the original authority to remove me from campus, only me, or both?